Hello and welcome to coverage of Grin's Gore for the custom standard format. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the Swiss round 3 match between Calibur and Agentbla, both of whom are playing Gameboy Advance, which is essentially a 5-color mid-range deck, but it replaces white with colorless because of the power of a lot of the 5-color plus colorless lands, such as this Abandoned Excavation and this Fractured Remnant. So starting off, Calibur is going to be going first. Has a strong turn 2 play in Sporeflow Protector, and then as long as they keep drawing lands, can curve that into a Make Prey to answer anything Agentbla might have, and then turn 4 a Liminal Observer or Jabaya, really essentially swing the game in Calibur's favor. And yeah, hitting a land off the draw is exactly what Calibur wants to see here. Can run out the Sporeflow Protector. And then if they hit at least one more land in the next 2 turns, can definitely Jabaya, and if they hit a colorless land, can Liminal Observer. Instead, for now, we'll probably just settle for swinging in with the Sporeflow Protector and then casting a second copy. Agentbla's hand is not looking as great. The single target Make Prey isn't going to be of much use against the Sporeflows once they start swinging in. Tempered Onclim, while it can block a single Sporeflow for now, doesn't really do much once the spore flows can start germinating and then putting counters on themselves. Foog is fine as like repeatable hand attack, but Calibur does have the existing board presence to be able to stop Foog. Okay, so Calibur does hit a 4th land. So if you're Calibur, I think you just run out the Liminal Observer. No, okay, he's going to run out the Jabaya. That's also a fine play because since Calibur controls 4 different lands, the Jabaya will flip next turn, is able to grab the transform land, Fangmark Cave. And then since Jabaya's token does have Trample, Agentbla won't be able to run out the Foog this turn. So instead is going to have to use the Make Prey and then kill Jabaya. Or can I guess use Foog's -3, but then Calibur just kills a Foog on the crackback that way. So yeah, just going to tap 3, Make Prey, kill Jabaya. Of note, though, is that this does leave Calibur with 2 cards in grave, which means that Calibur can now start using Sporeflow's Germinate. Instead, he's just going to go full aggro. He's going to pay 8 life, and then transform the Fangmarked Cave. Agentbla has to sacrifice the Tempered Onclim as a result of the Hakbora transform trigger, and now Calibur swings in for a whopping 10. This means that Agentbla is dead next turn, would be if they didn't have anything, but is going to Vibrant Rapture X equals 2, killing the 2 Sporeflow Protectors. But now Calibur just swings in for 6, or actually, yeah, has lethal here, because Calibur swings in for 6 with Hakbora, Tempered Onclim drain for 3, Hired Hit Shoot to face. That's a total of 12 damage, which is exactly enough. So yep, running out the Tempered Onclim drains Agentbla for 3, and then the charge counter from Abandoned Excavation for the Hired Hit. So what a quick game 1. Like, Calibur just had the faster hand and was able to go under Agentbla, and then also hit the crucial lands that they needed to be able to play the rest of their hand out. I think I didn't originally, I thought that Liminal Observer would have been better, but then the Jabaya play now makes a lot more sense to me, because while the Liminal Observer could draw anything on your upkeep, Jabaya instantly draws you into another win con, essentially. Good play by Calibur. Anyways, before we get into game 2, let's check out what the sideboards could look like. Okay, looking at Agentbla's sideboard, the Shaman of the First Pacts, I'm not really sure what matchup this is for, but I guess you could use it to just really go over some of, in the mid-range matchup, maybe? I think the Gila Emergence is a nice tech here because Calibur doesn't have any instant speed removal that can deal with it. Even though I think the Gila Emergences are really more there for the control matchup. Into the Lion's Den is probably perfect here. As long as, especially since Agentbla is going to be on the play now, because Agentbla can now run it out under a Sporeflow Protector. Collapsipillars, Epic of Job both seem good here as well because of the artifact creature nature of lots of Calibur's plays. I could see definitely the Into the Lion's Den, and then some number split of the Collapsipillars and Epic of Jabaya, and maybe the Shaman of the First Pact. As for what is coming out, maybe I think the Vibrant Raptors are not as needed in this matchup, so probably a few of those. Other than that, I think I'm not too certain what Agentbla would pull out here. Meanwhile, Calibur's sideboard looking pretty similar. The Oracle's Ploy I don't think is very useful here, it's more for the aggro. Fall of Atanis is actually not bad to bring in, but I think it's again going to be Collapse of Pillars, Epic of Jabaya, maybe the Shaman of the First Pact, maybe the Fall of Atanis. I think maybe the Healer Emergence for both players. It depends on how they want to play this matchup. And I think it's more likely that Calibur brings in the Healer Emergence because, as we saw, they seem to have a more aggressive take on this matchup. I think for that reason, it's also less likely that they're going to be bringing into the Lion's Den, especially since they're on the draw, so they won't be able to run it out under Sporeflow Protector from Agentbla. Okay, getting into Game 2 here, we see that Agentbla does have access to does not have access to turn 2 Sporeflow because he doesn't have a colored land, but has access to turn 3 Sporeflow. And then if he keeps drawing into lands, can on turn 6 Witch Kite. Also, the top deck of the Fractured Remnant is super good for Agentbla because it means that he can now run out turn 2 Sporeflow. On Calibur's end, we'll be able to just hired hit the Sporeflow next turn, and then has some good top end threats, or could run out a Sporeflow of their own. But I think it's better for Calibur to run out a Sporeflow of their own, and then next turn can hired hit the Sporeflow, even if Agentbla has no way to germinate, so Agentbla can't grow it in response. So yeah, I think, and the Sporeflow effectively acts as removal, quote unquote, for it right now because the Sporeflow can't block. So yep, Calibur's gonna run out the hired hit, probably uploading the other hired hit, or no, that's the only other play. So probably uploading a Jabaya, uploading the Eon Overwatch. Interesting. And then Calibur's going to swing in for 2 with the Sporeflow and pass. And man, Agentbla really has just been consistently hitting these lands. This means in 2 turns, we'll have access to the 1 turn 20 damage Witch of Shifting Waters plus Sherming Dune Kite combo. Calibur does have a hired hit to be able to disrupt it, but the question is, will Calibur tap out? Also, I'm kind of interested to see that Agentbla did keep the Vibrant Raptors in. I guess it's useful to be able to kill Sporeflow Protector plus tokens, and Calibur also kept it in. I guess you can also kill bigger creatures, or you can use it for X equals 2 to kill an opposing Jabaya. Still, I'm kind of suspicious about its value in multiples in this matchup. Anyways, Calibur's going to poke in for another 2 with the Sporeflow. Needs to hit a 4th land to be able to cast the Jabaya, unfortunately. And I think that if Calibur does hit a land here, we'll probably just quickly run out the Jabaya and then grab Fangmark Cave like they did last game. But if they do that, then them tapping out means they don't have access to hired hit, which then means that Agentbla can do the 1 turn Dune Kite plus Witch combo. Anyways, on end, Calibur's going to Germinate, exiling 2 of the fetch lands from their grave to pump Sporeflow into a 3-4. Makes sense because they didn't have anything else to do with the mana, and this now puts Sporeflow out of hired hit range. And hitting a second Sporeflow still manages to put on the beats with both of these probably. Okay, on end, Agentbla is going to create a Petal token with Royal Domain. So if you're Agentbla here, do you just Vibrant Rapture? Yeah, okay. It's just going to Vibrant Rapture, killing both of the Sporeflows before it can get even crazier. And then is instantly going to crack both of them to cast this top deck into the Lion's Den. Using this, Agentbla can just grab the hired hit, and then in doing so, guarantees themselves the combo next turn, unless Calibur draws into a... No, yeah, Calibur can't even draw into a Witch themselves, because they don't have the mana. So yeah, Calibur needs to top deck another hired hit, and that's a 3rd Sporeflow. That's not it. Calibur got rewarded for keeping that 2-land hand game 1, but is getting supremely punished for keeping a similar hand this time. And Agentbla passing? I'm surprised that Agentbla didn't just try to run out the Dune Kite combo there. Is Agentbla worried about Calibur top decking another hired hit? and therefore was like, I'll just wait until Calibur taps out. But Calibur doesn't have to tap out. Calibur can just keep spore flowing and then holding up stuff to germinate. Yeah, I think just not going for the combo last turn was a bad play from Agentbla. He's going to go for it now, though. Runs out the first Shimmering Dune Kite, makes the hasty token. He's going to make the... And then, yeah, Calibur's only response is to be able to create a Saproling. And then, yep, swings in for 20 power of hasty damage. And that's the power of Witch Kite. So yeah, we're going to a game 3. So Calibur right here, keeping another 2-lander. No matter what, has access to turn 2 into the Lion's Den here, though. Can probably hope to just keep drawing lands and then run out Sporeflow Protector and then later the Eon Overwatches. Meanwhile, Agentbla did mulligan once, but the hired hit is good interaction versus one turn Witch Kite, and has essentially a win con in the form of Jabaya and another in the form of Foog, and hits a third win con in Liminal Observer. So Calibur's going to run out into the Lion's Den. What are they going to take here? I'd imagine that taking the Foog would probably be the best bet, because Calibur has Make Prey for the rest. And Calibur doesn't care about Hired Hit when they have 2 Eon Overwatches that are just bigger than Hired Hit. And in the 1-for-1 game, Calibur ends up winning just because their threats are so much more impactful. So yeah, is going to grab the Foog. And Calibur drawing into a Foog of their own doesn't have any plays that they can make here, though, because Vacated Bar necessitates that Calibur tap one of their other lands, so they can't use Royal Domain this turn. And Calibur once again getting mana screwed. This isn't looking good for them. Can run out the Spore Flow, though. Yup, is going to do that. And Agentbla is immediately going to Hired Hit it, not messing with that, uploading one of their 2 Liminal Observers. And then next turn can run out either Jabaya or the Liminal Observer. So he's going to run out the Jabaya, grabbing a Fangmarked Cave, yup. So now Calibur is put into a real bind, because they're in for a World of Hurt next turn if they let this Jabaya stick around. And even if they don't, the Fangmarked Cave is a beating. So, like, they have to... Oh, it hits the 4th land, though. But, yeah, it probably just needs to Make Prey the Jabaya, and then try to race out the Fangmarked Cave. Hopefully, or I guess wants to hit a 5th land so that they can Eon Overwatch on the Fangmarked Cave, realistically. And I don't mean, like, the Fangmarked Cave pre-transformation, because I know this says an on-land. I mean, if and when Agentbla transforms it. One thing to consider, though, is that Jabaya won't transform this turn, so Calibur might be thinking of just playing Fractured Remnant and then using Royal Domain's 3rd ability to create a Petal token in order to guarantee themselves an Eon Overwatch next turn. I think that would be a little greedy, though. Could also Foog -3 kill Jabaya, and then Agentbla could Fangmarked Cave and immediately kill the Foog on the Crackback, but then you could either Eon Overwatch or Make Prey next turn. Okay, so Calibur is going to Make Prey the Jabaya finally, and then just pass. Agentbla is just going to snap run out a Liminal Observer, and there's the 5th land from Calibur. So Calibur can now Eon Overwatch bounce the Liminal Observer, and then next turn either has Foog to be able to kill a flipped Fangmarked Cave, or whatever Agentbla plays is just can Eon Overwatch again. Yup, Eon Overwatch bounce the Liminal Observer. So Agentbla is going to transform Hakbora to make Calibur sack the Eon Overwatch, and then swing in for 6. But now Calibur can Foog or Eon Overwatch it. He's going to Foog and then -3 kill Hakbora. Then I guess Calibur's thought is, next turn, can Eon Overwatch to bounce whatever Agentbla does here, which is running out the Liminal Observer, and then can Foog to make Agentbla either discard the Liminal Observer or discard some other threat. In fact, I think, no, is 1 mana, I was about to say, might even have the mana to Eon Overwatch plus Spore Flow here, but is 1 mana off from that. Can Liminal Observer plus Spore Flow, but I think that's a risky play right here. Okay, so he's going to +1 Foog before bouncing, interestingly. And yeah, obviously Calibur is going to take the Jabaya. Now Agentbla is kind of running out of true threats. The Tempered Onclims are like are technically the Tempered Onclim is technically a threat, but it loses out to the Eon Overwatch and Liminal Observer, and even the Spore Flow Protector. So yeah, Calibur ran out the Eon Overwatch. Just gonna bounce the Liminal Observer. In response, or not in response, but on their turn, Agentbla is gonna make prey, kill the Eon Overwatch. Still has access to more cards than Calibur here. Calibur though is probably just gonna +1 Foog again. I think Agentbla hiding the Liminal Observer was a supremely bad play here. Calibur knows that Agentbla has Liminal Observer because Calibur just bounced it. Should have hid something else. So now Agentbla is down to Spore Flow Protector as their only real threat. And then right now, if you're Calibur, you probably just play out Liminal Observer plus Spore Flow Protector and then go to town. Or no, because you know that Agentbla has Vibrant Rapture, but doesn't have the mana to be able to kill anything that you have. And even if they top deck a land, can only kill your Spore Flow Protector. Epic of Jabaya, though, instead is going to Spore Flow Protector and then download the Liminal Observer. But if Agentbla hits another land, can Epic of Jabaya X=2 kill the Liminal Observer, kill into the Lion's Den? But it's going to be hard with Foog is just constantly ticking up, so Calibur can just grab whatever they want. I think for now, though, Calibur doesn't care much about the Epic of Jabaya and would much rather just grab a Liminal Observer. Yup, is going to take a Liminal Observer. So it looks like Calibur is going to Germinate twice before Agentbla can untap, buff up Spore Flow into a 4/5, then pass. Agentbla does top tech the Make Prey, so can kill, now the question is, oh no, it's just going to concede. I feel like if you kill the Spore Flow Protector there, you can chump the Liminal Observer and then try to get yourself back in the game, even through Liminal Observer's draws. Oh no, I guess Agentbla's thought was, no matter what they do, next turn Calibur Foog -3s on one of their creatures, and they can't block 4 damage from one of the other creatures. Assuming that if Agentbla kills a creature, then they only have one creature, Foog kills it, the other one that Calibur has swings in for lethal. If Agentbla tries to extend their board, Calibur just -3s one of the creatures, and then it's 1 blocker to 2 attackers. So yeah, good games to both players. I think it was really interesting seeing the dynamics of the mirror and how I think each player approached the matchup differently. I think, as we saw, Agentbla had a more patient, take your time kind of play style, I think, and not even just with the cards they were dealt, but also with in terms of what card they would run out first, etc. While Calibur had a lot more of an aggressive bent. And I think seeing how those differences in playstyle really change a deck that was pretty much exactly the same down to numbers was really cool to see. But yeah, until next time, this is Caillou signing off.